me start by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land upon which we meet today, and thank you for welcoming us to your land and giving me the opportunity to speak on your land today, and their elders past, present and emerging. My name is Julianne Lambourne, and I'm a Torres Strait Islander woman. Now, the Torres Strait Islands sit at the top of Queensland, just below Papua New Guinea. My mother's father comes from the Western Torres Strait, an island called Mabiorg Island. And my mother's mother comes from the Eastern Torres Strait, Eurub Island, sometimes known as Darnley Island. But I was born in Cairns, North Queensland. Today I'm going to talk about a subject that I'm very passionate about, and then I'm going to explain why.
And one in front of us on the blue one. Nathan, look up there on the blue truck. How's it a black jump? Paul, look up there on the green check at the road.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, on the track. Paul, I can't believe I'm inside it. Inside.
I can't believe I'm inside it. What you're seeing are children immersed on a mine site, watching trucks go by, being in an excavator 1,000 times bigger than they are, but listening to a young Aboriginal woman talk about why she works in mining and how that has changed her life. What we did was we created 5 employment immersive themes to create an environment where people of all ages could experience what it is like working in those areas. Meet Rachel. Rachel works in mining. Rachel is only one of 6 in the world to drive the largest excavator. They're huge, aren't they? Rachel's story is phenomenal, growing up in a small town, but now renowned throughout the world. This is what those children were watching. Meet Mario. Mario is a builder. He owns a construction company. And what they're watching in Mario's theme, a whole house is being built before their very eyes. Behind them, beside them, up, cars are driving past, and a bridge is being built. Meet Uncle Ray Burns. Uncle Ray works on a banana farm in a remote Aboriginal community in the Cape. But what they're hearing is, if I can do it, you can do it. Here is an opportunity for you to do something with yourselves. Although Uncle Ray does say, now I'm in your head. That's a little bit scary. Why did we do this? When I grew up in Cairns, as I said before, pristine, beautiful mountains where the rainforest meets the reef. People travel from all over the world to come to Cairns. So many opportunities. It's the land of opportunity for some. I grew up with no guidance, no support, no mentoring, never knowing what was going to happen the next day, let alone knowing what my future held or what opportunities that were in front of me, let alone employment. But this is why we do what we do. This is why we formed Envision Group, so we can take those opportunities, either in virtual reality or face-to-face, to people who may not know, to people who may not have guidance. We can help them with guidance. To people who don't have the support, we're there supporting them, holding them up, helping them to guide them. How do we get it to those people? How do we get it to remote locations? How do we get it to regional locations? How do we get it into the city? What we did was we built an all-terrain bus. Imagine that, a couple of women buying a cab and a chassis and then telling the builders what to do. But we wanted the bus to go everywhere. We didn't want the technology in the program to know boundaries. We wanted it to reach the people in the remotest location so that they could experience advanced technologies and they could learn about opportunities. We wanted it to go everywhere. Did I say I mean everywhere? Thank God I don't drive the bus. But what it provides is an opportunity. They see the bus rolling into town, we spread the word out, and it brings hope, and it brings aspiration, and it brings opportunity into those communities that it travels to. This is not just any normal bus, and this is not any normal virtual reality experience. When people are in that bus and they're in their headsets, it all feeds into a server. Now that server produces what's called a user focus report. So at any given time, any given second, we can tell how that person is engaged. Who are they engaged with? Are they looking around? Are they watching the house? Or are they listening to that storyteller telling them about why they do what they do? Why do we do this? Because when we have a post conversation, so they go through the 5 immersive themes, they come through to the other side. And they may say, oh, I loved mining because it's interactive, it's exciting. But they were only interacting with that storyteller for 25%, yet they were interacting with the doctor in health 75%. And that's when the conversation gets interesting, because they start to really bed down on why they were interested in that. Why were they interested in helping people? Because other people they know are sick. That's why they want to study. That's why they want to go to health. And that's why we do that with those user focus reports. The bus actually is a world first. There's not another bus like that anywhere. And that's come out of Cairns, Queensland, Australia. So why do we want to go to remote community? So this community is similar to one of the communities where you saw those children. This community is very remote, very secluded. It takes them 2 days to drive to their normal regional city. They don't have the experiences that we have. They might not know the opportunities that we have. They may have fear of leaving their community, no confidence, lack of education. How would you feel if it took you 2 days to drive to your nearest Kmart, and it takes them 2 days to drive to their nearest Kmart? So it's about taking those opportunities to those people who would never have that. I'm going to take you a little bit on a journey of my life. I gave you a little insight about having no guidance. My life was full of turmoil as a child. I grew up with no opportunity. I only knew abuse, psychological, physical, sexual abuse, domestic violence, family violence. My father always worked, but he disciplined with an iron fist. And my mother was a chronic, violent alcoholic. Because of that, I grew up with my own issues: severe mental health, anxiety, depression, thoughts, many attempts of suicide. Not knowing where my next day was, where was my purpose. I had no hope at all. But here I am today. Here I am today, overcoming all of those things. Not knowing, but now knowing. Being able to impart what I know to other people. Teaching them how to overcome. This is what drives me every day. And these are the principles of our organisation, Envision Group, and why we started Envision Group, to help all of those people who have no idea. But today I stand here, the CEO of Envision Group Incorporated. I was actually awarded the Cairns Businesswoman Club DATSIP Indigenous Businesswoman of the Year. And just recently, Australian Institute of Leaders and Managers, not-for-profit leader for Cairns region. For those to have won those awards and to feel that benefit knowing where I came from, and not even completing junior high school to completing a master's in business administration. And that's why I do what I do and why we do what I do with technology. But can I tell you, from my own personal experience, a person only knows what they know until someone provides an opportunity for them to see beyond it. So what we do is we see beyond circumstance and we recognise capability and we help them create the life that they deserve. Thank you for sharing in my journey.